book editor, teacher, courier, traveller. His poetry appears in anthologies in Canada, the US, Bolivia, and India. In magazine, Acrostic Review, New World Review, the Spanish Azajar, and other international publications. He was a judge for the Tagore Award International English Poetry Competition. He is author of Anne, a Tribute, and Chasing a Butterfly, which saved him from depression. Herb is a member of the Federation of BC Writers and Royal City Literary Arts Society. He is a 2022 Writers International Network Distinguished Poet Award recipient.
Yes.
His newest publication is Seeds of Poetry, so please welcome Herb Bryce.
You can use the podium room.
Yeah, more like that. Hello, everybody. Thank you for all the birthday greetings and everything. That was nice. I want you to remember that this was my first book, Chasing a Butterfly. This was our journey with my wife Anne through Alzheimer's, and it was very depressing for a while. Poetry saved me for sure, no doubt about it. So I'd like to read you one from this before I go to the Seeds of Poetry. Hope. Be faithful to hope. There's no need to grope in the darkness of fear and despair. Smile at adversity. Your smile will beget smiles, and you will enjoy each moment you're gifted. For when you feel that your heart has been lifted, you'll see that hope has traveled you miles. For who needs the strife that the worry begets? It will only prevent you from winning the fight and sap the resources you need to hold tight and to put in and get out the best of yourself. So draw on your strength and your inner reserve, and remember that hope is always right there. She's ready to help and she's waiting for you. And remember that hope is your prayer. Thank you. I've been doing an awful lot of living indoors these days, and it's affecting my voice, as you can easily tell. Seeds of Poetry, that's my mom and me on the cover. Picture a little boy with his family in a clearing in the bush in northern Saskatchewan beside the Meadow River, standing face to face, height to height, with a tiger lily. Seeds of Poetry right there. So what you see now is the blossom of the tiger lily, my favorite flower. And my Saskatchewan birthplace has the flower red lily as its official flower. So there you are. So what you go through when you're little has an awful lot to do with what you do when you're big. And what happens along the way, probably colored by what you started with, one way or the other, whether it's rejection or acceptance or building it up. So this first poem is introducing my nemesis, my first school teacher in the country schoolhouse, whom I call Dickensian. I'm not going to read you the awful poems that marked me for life, the big black strap, which he delighted in giving to me. 3 slaps on each hand. But I got it back. So I'm calling this, so it doesn't give it all away, December. Come sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and that cowboy who loves you so true. I belted out that song I sang for Sarah as I milked her, sitting on my three-legged stool in our two-stall barn shared by Dolly, our old horse, and Kitten, who sat expectantly watching that precious milk squirting into a bucket between my legs. I directed a few squirts to Kitten. She caught the milk in her mouth. Share and share alike. That's what Mom taught us. Oh, I was so happy practicing my singing because tomorrow and Monday and tryouts for the Christmas concert, and I was going to sing for Santa. But instead, old Dan Young stuck me in a choir, front row, far right. Old Dan Young raised his signal, and we all began to sing Silent Night. And it sounded great. I was in my element. But as the song progressed, old Dan Young's face frowned. He cocked his ear. He began to listen very closely. Then he began to prowl along the front row, cocking his ear at each singer. Then he got to me, and he stuck his ear against my mouth, and his ear hairs waving at me in my breath, which was now flagging. He turned to look at me. His bulbous nose twitched. His arm jerked up. His thumb snubbed the air. You're out. You're flat. That's a whole different story. My singing career went like that. Well, I'd like to paint you a picture